right now. Let's get to your top story as we're learning brand new details about the suspect accused of murdering UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. A first-degree murder charge could be soon added. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg spoke out Wednesday saying he's confident in getting Luigi Mangione, that is, to New York. He is that suspect. Bragg said that the 26-year-old could face additional charges beyond the second-degree murder charges that he is currently facing. And now, Mangione was arrested Monday in Altoona, Pennsylvania. He was in court in Pennsylvania on Tuesday, where his attorney indicated that he will be fighting extradition back to New York.
Luigi, and it's completely out of touch, and it's insult the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
Now, Mangione is being held without any bail in Pennsylvania, so we're wondering what is next for him. We have a very special guest I'm so honored to have on the program. Let me welcome now the district attorney in Blair County, Pennsylvania, where Luigi Mangione was picked up, where he's currently facing charges, Attorney Pete Weeks. Pete, good morning to you. And I just want to start by saying I have heard such wonderful things about you. I'm licensed in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and you have a wonderful reputation in the community that you serve, and you've been there a long, long time, and we're so pleased to have you on this program to talk about this case. So if we could we start with the questions surrounding the extradition process? What is this looking like? What is the timeline, please? Would you kindly walk us through that?
Good morning, sure. So essentially, if someone is contesting extradition, our obligation is to prove that they are the individual that the requesting state is seeking. So we're in the process of working with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the state of New York to secure what's called a governor's warrant. Once we secure that governor's warrant, we are going to file a request with the court to schedule a hearing as soon as possible. The court may schedule a hearing in the interim, but our burden is essentially to prove that the defendant is who New York is seeking. And if we establish that, which we're confident we'll be able to establish that, then the extradition can be completed and he will be sent to New York.
Pete, thank you for that. So for anybody wondering how the hearing goes, this isn't anything like a trial, is it? Or even anything like a preliminary hearing? Would you kind of explain the pieces of information you might introduce at the extradition hearing?
Certainly. We are not going to be involved in presenting any evidence relative to the crime. That is, for the state of New York. The extradition process, again, is simply identifying and confirming for our court that the defendant is the individual listed and sought in the arrest warrant issued by the Manhattan County District Attorney's Office and the New York City Police Department. So our burden is to establish his identity and that he is the person on that warrant. And we will do that through a variety of methods. And I expect to include his live scan, fingerprints, as well as other evidence that he is the individual who New York is seeking.
Extradition, all about the identification if someone is contesting it. Thank you for that, Pete. I want to take a look at the charges he's facing in your jurisdiction. Now, we put together them listed. I want to show them on the screen for everybody at home. So we've got forgery, tampering with records of identification, false ID to law enforcement, possessing instruments of a crime. Pete, what happens with this case in your jurisdiction? How will you proceed with these charges against Luigi Mangione?
Well, our priority is to cooperate with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and New York City Police Department. We intend to focus our efforts right now on making the defendant available to them first for prosecution. Our charges will be held in abeyance pending his availability to us after New York is done prosecuting their case.
So essentially, the Pennsylvania case will follow along with the New York case, right? Seeing as these charges aren't as serious as what he's facing there. So will you kind of watch and wait and see, but he'll still have a detainer in PA, right?
Correct. That's our intention, is to proceed with our charges, but hold our charges, prioritizing the New York prosecution and assisting the authorities in New York in getting the defendant to them so they can begin that process.
Appreciate it, Pete. I want to ask you about where Luigi Mangione is being held, because something that really jumped out at me is that he's not being held in the Blair County, PA jail. He's being held in one of the Pennsylvania state prisons, SCI Huntington, which, as you know, is a rough place. You don't want to go there. Would you speak to why he's being held in the prison pending this hearing versus the jail?
That was just a logistical conversation that the Altoona Police Department, the Pennsylvania State Police, the authorities in New York, and myself had. We consulted with the warden from the Blair County Prison, as well as the Department of Corrections in Pennsylvania, and we agreed that that would be the ideal place to hold him until extradition can be completed.
Understood. Okay. Pete, I want to talk to you about the tip that came in from someone at a local McDonald's in Blair County. And I know, and this is hearing it from a very close colleague of mine who says how highly regarded you are in the county, and how he really said this is largely to DA Weeks' credit. I think it's his opinion, saying that you've really fostered so much empowerment, cooperation, trustworthiness among members of the community with their local police partners and the members who serve in your office. And he said, really, I think that it's been largely the work you've done for many, many, many years, where people feel empowered to see something, say something, and they trust they're going to be kept safe. Would you speak to what you thought when you heard about that tip coming in that perhaps this wanted fugitive was in your jurisdiction?
Well, first of all, I want to make it clear I'm privileged to work in Blair County and for the citizens of Blair County. Blair County has always been a strong law enforcement community. When I came here in 2007, the district attorney that I worked under and my supervisors in the office fostered that relationship with the community and with law enforcement, and I've attempted to continue that relationship. But we're privileged to have members of our community who work with the police, who trust the police. And again, if they see something and they understand that there's something criminal occurring or something that needs to be brought to the attention of the police, whether it be a crime in Blair County, or in this case, someone who is a person of interest at that time in New York, they're going to call the police, as they did, and they're going to let us know what's going on. I've always been proud of the way the community and our law enforcement work together, and you can see that when community and law enforcement work together, and law enforcement works with each other, as they did in this case, that you achieve great results. And if not for the community speaking out and the responding patrol officers being vigilant and aware of what was going on, we may still be looking for this individual. So again, I'm privileged to be able to work in a community that has this level of cooperation.
Beautifully said. Blair County, Pennsylvania District Attorney Pete Weeks on the program this morning. Pete, thank you again for your time, for speaking about your case. And I know it's been a busy few days for you this week. When things settle down, we would love to have you come on the show as a legal analyst on one of our other cases, because I know you were one of those district attorneys who isn't afraid to get in the trenches and get your hands dirty. You've tried cases for many years, and I know everybody has a lot of respect for the fact that you still get in the courtroom, even though you're the top guy in the office. So we would love to have you back on the program someday to talk about another case that's not yours.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Take good care.